Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for a riveting journey through the intricate labyrinth of Hasanabi's Twitch stream, where the currents of political dissent and conscientious objection converge into a formidable tempest of discourse.
I think he's kind-hearted, but I don't know. I feel, I'm sure he'll say much worse things. Like he'll say I'm a idiot, but which is fine. I take on the moniker myself. I do say I'm but I'm sorry, dude. I see a lot of this. I see a lot of these sorts of takes from people who are just like unconditionally, I'm supporting the Democratic Party. And to them, I ask, what will it take for you not to? I have said I am reconsidering not voting. I'm considering not voting for Joe Biden, and I think that is my right, and I think I should be able to say that without screeching at me to be like, oh, excuse me, don't you know about trans? It's like, dude, I've been doing political advocacy for 10 years. Like, come on, trust me. Like, while you were doing flick shots and trick shots on COD, like, I was in the cut getting death for things that I've been saying. I've always maintained the position, and I still maintain the position that you should always vote, and especially for your local elections, especially for your you should always vote for ballot measures. Like, these are very important things, and I will still push for that. But I don't know if I can. I don't know. I don't know if either of these candidates are worthy of me voting for either of them. I think it's really gross. It's really disgusting. You're not going to vote? Not voting is the same as helping the Democrats. Yeah, what I should... It's funny. I know the implications of saying such a thing, but I think that the administration should at least feel a little threatened if that is the case. And I'm not going to fight here. I'm not going to fight here and be like, oh yeah, no, I'll still vote for you, Joe Biden. Please continue to facilitate with my tax dollars. Like, why would I ever say that? What's wrong with you? Even if I were to turn around and vote at the end of the day, like, are you stupid? Why? What purpose do I have for voting if I can't even like make demands of my politicians? Like, you have a lot of Democrats who are like unconditional vote blue no matter who. Liberals are incredibly stupid in the way that they don't understand how political advocacy is supposed to work or how democracy is supposed to work, really. And this is not my first bout with those who exhibit this kind of tendency. They are almost always coming at it from a profoundly privileged perspective. Then they shamelessly weaponize trans people and gay people and immigrants as a talking point. It's ridiculous. It is so gross. It's so disgusting. I think that trans people also have a right to not vote for whoever they don't want to vote for. I'm sick and tired of not having any kind of valid pushback against the Democratic Party. We've been doing this process year over year. I've never seen such horrifying, monstrous attitudes. At least like Barack Obama lied and said that he was going to pull out of Iraq, or at least he ran on like an anti-Iraq war campaign. You know what I mean? That's wild. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy to like imagine if Barack Obama was like, I love the Iraq war, which by the way, he didn't, but I'm saying, imagine if Barack Obama was like, I love the Iraq war and there's nothing you could do. Suck my dick, vote for me because the other guy's worse. Do you see what I'm saying? And then the Democrats were like, actually, Sweaty, what if he legalizes gay marriage? What if he does healthcare? Which, sure. Brandon isn't even giving us the bare minimum of lying to our faces that he's like interested in stopping this ethnic cleansing campaign that we have no say on. Get the fuck out of here. Look at this. Hundreds of thousands of people are in the streets globally every week for Palestinians, demanding an end to this cruel and unusual punishment, this collective this collective punishment that they are withstanding for 75 years. Get the fuck out of here. It's just ridiculous. Biden is a Megiddo stan. He's Catholic. He's not even evangelical Christian. You know what I mean? He's just like riding for that for no reason. But yeah, I digress. That'll be all for today. I didn't get to play any video games. I'm sorry. You got 20,000 people watching you. Why not some lobbying to representatives who could put pressure on Biden instead of taking a doomer pill? Thanks, brother. I never engage in that sort of thing. Don't talk to politicians directly or don't engage in any sort of campaigning of that sort. I haven't done that for the past 3 weeks. as I've told people to go out and protest, told people to talk to their congressperson. So thank you for finally, man, I had no idea, dude. While we were doing that, while we were also demanding to call congresspersons, signing petitions, telling people to go out and protest, raising $1.1 million for Palestinian charities, I didn't realize Sharmabo was going to finally come up with the best solution that, that we had no idea. Like I hadn't considered that. Thanks, man. Thank you. If I only thought, Hassan, why can't you do all the work while I can just sit here and judge you? Which we have, and it's not me alone. We have done the work. We've done exactly what he's talking about. We have lobbied. Anyway, but the pressure is working, so that's something to also consider. Yeah. Also, I love the argument that just lobby the government law while we're literally talking about potentially not voting for a person because he's just refusing to listen to the calls coming from the ground, like refusing to listen to the demands that people are making, Okay. Just vote harder and then he'll listen, dude.
In this intellectual odyssey, Hasanabi unfurls his concerns about endorsing Joe Biden's potential re-election, a stance born out of his profound dissatisfaction with the perceived insipid response to Israel's actions in Gaza. A conundrum unfolds as Hasanabi grapples with the moral dilemma of supporting candidates whose policies contribute, in his view, to grievous human suffering. The dissonance of advocating for voting while questioning the worthiness of either candidate for his ballot reverberates through the digital ether. With eloquence and candor, Hasanabi dissects the nexus between political allegiance and moral culpability. He questions the ethical weight of supporting individuals whose policies, directly or indirectly, might be complicit in acts deemed reprehensible. The clash between political pragmatism and moral conviction takes center stage, encapsulated in Hasanabi's visceral expressions of disgust at the prospect of endorsing what he perceives as facilitators of genocide. In this verbal tapestry, Hasanabi confronts the entrenched loyalty to the Democratic Party, challenging its ardent supporters to ponder the threshold at which they would withdraw their allegiance. His discontent reverberates through the rhetorical corridors as he champions the notion that withholding one's vote can serve as a potent tool to communicate discontent, a proverbial sword of Damocles hanging over the political elite. A scathing critique unfolds against those who exploit marginalized groups as rhetorical shields, using the plight of trans people, gay people, and immigrants to stifle dissent. Hasanabi unveils the hypocrisy of such tactics, asserting the inalienable right of every individual to withhold their vote from candidates whose policies they find wanting. The echoes of history resonate in Hasanabi's words as he draws parallels with Barack Obama's anti-Iraq war campaign, underscoring the recurrent themes of political promises versus subsequent actions. A lamentation unfolds as he scrutinizes the current administration's failure even to feign transparency regarding their intentions. The stream reaches its zenith as Hasanabi pivots to the global protests and demands for justice for Palestinians, a clarion call for accountability that reverberates beyond the digital realm. He articulates the dissonance between supporting politicians who, in his view, fall short of addressing the plight of Palestinians and the imperative for decisive action. In the concluding chapters of this intellectual symphony, Hasanabi responds with acerbic wit to a suggestion that lobbying representatives supersedes expressing doubts about voting. He accentuates his multifaceted advocacy efforts, protests, engagement with congresspersons, and donations to Palestinian charities. With a tinge of sarcasm, he acknowledges the commenter's proposed solution while emphasizing the pivotal role of voting in exerting pressure on politicians to heed the collective demands of the populace. As the digital tapestry of Hasanabi's discourse unfolds, we find ourselves entangled in the profound complexities of moral responsibility, political allegiance, and the nuanced dance between activism and electoral engagement. In this cerebral arena, Hasanabi emerges as a formidable orator, challenging conventional norms and provoking contemplation on the role of conscientious objection in the turbulent seas of contemporary politics.